Now, we're getting into this 9/11, and I don't want to scare any of you away, but here's the thing. I was the first cable access producer on Channel 23 to come out and talk publicly about 9/11 and talked about the fact, a lot of people would say an inside job. I don't necessarily use that term. I use the term more like fraud. It was presented as a fraud. And the official 9/11 conspiracy theory that was put forward by the US government that we all know, and I'm not going to get into, we know how that goes. We know how to sing that song. That conspiracy theory that was put forward by the Bush administration was full of holes, and a lot of holes. And we're going to look at a video right now that talks about one aspect. It's a 2-minute video, and I'm going to have to spend the entire show tearing it apart, unfortunately. But Barb, what I want you to do, I don't want to really introduce this video too much to tell you what it's about. I want you to have the same shock value that I had when I saw it, so let's roll the video in, okay?
So I am taking time out of my busy day to try to put to rest one of the more moronic things I have seen on the internet lately, and that's saying something. Through my Facebook feed, I saw yet again that old tired argument, that question. Jet fuel only burns at 1,500 degrees, and since steel melts at 2,700 degrees, 9/11 was a conspiracy. I am so sick and tired of this argument. Now, I am not going to make any claims to what did or did not happen. If it was conspiracy, I do not care. What I am upset about is the retarded metallurgical things that you guys are saying. I'm not arguing the facts. Jet fuel does in fact burn at 1,500 degrees. Steel will start melting, some carbon steels, at 2,300 degrees. But if you hold this up as a reason for conspiracy, you are an idiot. This is a piece of half-inch thick steel. A36 structural steel designed for structures. This is a 250-pound anvil. I'm going to put this steel in the back of this anvil, and I'm going to lift this 250-pound anvil with this bar of steel. Do you see how the structural steel is supporting this anvil? Okay. There. Now, in my furnace, I have an identical piece of half-inch bar of steel, just like this, and it's going to be around 1,800 degrees, just 300 more than jet fuel when it comes out. And I want you to see something very interesting. Go into the forge. It's very hot, but not melted. Obviously, it is not melted. I put this in the oven. Now watch this. I'm going to take my pinky finger, half-inch solid steel. Check it out. It's a freaking noodle. Your argument is invalid. Get over it. Find a job.
All right, we're back, and I thank you for tuning in tonight. You're watching Time Out with Kevin Gallagher, and you're watching a video that someone did. I found that on YouTube. Someone had sent it to me, actually, and I went and found the actual video. Let me just start off by saying, as a cable access producer, I've been doing this almost 23 years, and I really do think I know how to present something. The first problem that I had with this video is that, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the guy is very condescending, and he's talking down to me, and he's talking from a position of arrogance. And that is never, to me, when somebody does that, my defenses go up, and I don't want to hear what he has to say. So I had to look at that video 2 or 3 times before I could kind of let that go and look at what he was actually saying. Now, what he is saying is one of these rare instances, and this is where propaganda takes real hold. This is why it's so effective. He's absolutely right. In everything that he's presenting, he's 100% right, but he's also 100% wrong. And you're asking yourself, how can he be completely right and completely wrong at the same time? If you notice, he's not in the towers. He's not there on the morning of 9/11. He's in a foundry. He's using a furnace to heat a steel rod. And in those conditions, and for what he's doing, I would expect to see exactly that. That's exactly what should happen in those conditions. But we're not dealing with a foundry. We're not dealing with a furnace that can heat up a 2-inch rod of steel. What we're dealing with on September 11 of 2001 were 2 of the largest office buildings in the world. They were known as the Twin Towers. And you would have to duplicate those conditions and do exactly what he did in the Twin Towers that morning. And if you can duplicate those positions, the condition that was going on there in the towers, and be able to do the same thing, that would be the scientific way of doing it, okay, then you valid. But there's ways that we can go about doing that. Showing that in a foundry doesn't cut it. Okay, it just doesn't cut it.